What are the weird, strange things that people are interested in?
Oh.
What do you think?
UFOs. UFOs.
Yes.
I think he's saying UFOs. UFO.
Here we go, straight away.
UFO, well, the unidentified flying object. I've always thought unidentified flying... As soon as they identify it, then it's just a flying object. And then if it lands, it's just an O. No, you believe in UFOs, don't you?
Yeah, I do, yeah, I've seen them.
You've seen them? What did you see when you saw them?
Well, I see a fucking UFO, didn't I? I don't know what it was, but it was flying about. It wasn't a helicopter, it wasn't a plane, it was a UFO.
Could have been a kite?
Might have been a kite. I think it's ridiculous to think we're the only things out there, and it's depressing if we are, no? Do you know what I mean? We're the most intelligent things out there.
Well, not you
Not
specifically.
me, specifically.
We walked into that.
Miles, do you believe in aliens?
I'm not sure. I'm just not impressed by the fact that UFOs tend to be saucers. You just think that they evolve in some way. If you think about, you know, the changes that, for instance, the potato peeler has gone through in that time. Sort of imagine things from another planet might have developed their means of getting around a little bit more.
It's the fact that when they get here, they always probe us and have sex with us. Makes me think they probably come all the time, but we're just like Marbella. It's just where they come to get off with you. You want it work for you? Take your probe.
I don't know if that's that weird. I mean, I think I've got little dogs that I bought recently, and we bring them to the vet about once every 3 weeks. And the vet, as soon as he sees my dogs, just goes, "Better put my finger up his bum." It must be a similar kind of thing. Maybe they're just a higher life form. They're trying to look out for us. Going,
You mean take the V off vet and you got ET? Yeah.
If aliens do land, I'd quite like to be the person that greets them off the spaceship.
I think the chances of you being elected to that post.
Well, I'd actually make a very good ambassador for the planet, actually, Jimmy.
What would you say when you met the
Well,
alien?
for a start, I'm polite. I know. I'd lay on a buffet. And my mum's got a car, so if they need driving about, happy to do it.
You do have the look of someone who's been abducted. They usually
Yeah.
they go for your type.
No one believes us.
Well, that's the thing I was thinking is if you had been abducted, you can't prove it, can you?
No, I can't.
You can only say you've been abducted.
Have you had people on the One Show about? You must have covered
We
UFOs.
have, yeah. I mean, Olivia Newton-John swears that she's seen a UFO.
Case closed.
But so, hang on, no. So has Peter Andre and Katie Price.
Danny, you went to America and you properly went in and saw footage of these.
I went and see a geezer called Stan Romanek.
Right.
Who's been abducted since he was a kid. I sound like such a prick talking about this now.
No, it's interesting. It's interesting stuff.
Listen,
So,
and he's been abducted since he was a kid, and he showed me some mad shit. All right.
what did he show you? Because I saw the documentary.
He showed me an alien poking his head through a window.
You can't argue with that.
Honestly, I don't know what to say.
Can't. What can you say? You can
It
just
popped
go...
his little nut up over the window. Had a look at him. He screams. He showed me another one with.
But what was the other one?
The other one was in his kitchen. This one, it's got in. And you see its fingers come around the door frame, right long fingers.
Right.
They could come around, and then it's got a massive nut. This one, it's bigger than the other one.
Right. And then what? Did it say anything? Did it have a message?
No, it didn't say fuck all. Just looked at him. And you know, I'm gonna fuck off home. I think.
John Steve, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Surely the Pope?
Surely the Pope.
This is a huge story, isn't it?
Well, the Pope sort of woke up on Monday and thought, oh, God, I've got to go to work.
Well, in fairness, he doesn't have to be at work till Sunday.
Well, yeah, that's true.
That's not true, because the week that's in it, I think he had to write 1 million Valentine's cards to all the nuns of the world.
God was not happy at all about this, was he?
No, did you see the lightning bolt?
So this is a picture of the Vatican 12 hours after the Pope resigned.
If the church had any sense, they would have a news story after that saying there was a nun in there doing some paperwork and she's pregnant now.
Why do the popes always start old?
Well, they're talking about the Ghanaian Cardinal Peter Turkson being the next Pope. That's him with Chris Huhne there. You can see Chris Huhne's asking him to take a few points for him.
I want to know is, if we're going to have a black pope, when are we going to have a black queen? No talk of a black queen, is there?
Keep an eye on Kate Middleton.
Yeah.
That's her. I
don't know what that means.
Explain that one. Well, I'm saying maybe her baby is going to be black because it's probably not.
The Queen's not elected, is it? No, that's a serious answer.
Yeah, but that's what makes it weird that people choose the Pope. Shouldn't it be someone who something magical has happened to? You know, like you got Jesus, like he was the guy because, you know, you knew... No, I'm just saying, you know that he was chosen by God because he'd done, you know, he'd done magic things. It should, well, you know...
So you think, what, Paul Daniels? Who are you? Let's have a look and see if the Pope's up there. Yes, the Pope's resigned. Yes, the Pope has resigned. He's going to be difficult to replace. Where are we going to find another paedophile apologist who's also a Nazi? OK.
Can I just do a little disclaimer? Can we just make sure we don't put the bit about me talking about she might have a black baby? I'm really scared of the royal family.
Are you genuinely scared of the royal family?
I'm just scared that they can kill you, they can organise.
Once a decade, they do one of their own. They don't go outside the family.
If Kate Middleton has a white baby, they'll just ignore you. If she has a black baby, they'll have their own problems to deal with.
Yeah. The main worry is not if it's black, it's whether it's ginger. That's the main worry. That's what everyone's worried about.
I feel much better now because, like, more of us have said stuff now, so at least...
I can tell you facts about the Loch Ness Monster. It was first spotted in 1934.
Yeah, see, I think, you know, I think that's like...
What do you think, Tony?
I've seen it, and...
What I want to know was, what was Nessie doing in the East End?
West Ham.
I went up there, you know. She's fucking off. Look, where's she going?
There's nobody there, Danny.
No, I don't believe in that one. That's one I don't believe in. I believe in everything else, but I'm not having that. I'm not having that Nessie bollocks.
Well, over 1,000 people claim they've seen the Loch Ness Monster.
You can go to Loch Ness any time, and they say, "Oh, you should have come here yesterday. Nessie was out in Holland and Barrett baying zinc tablets."
Well, Loch Ness has got it's got a Facebook page, so it must have gone to an internet cafe at some point.
That's a photo from 1934. I mean, that's irrefutable, isn't it?
I think it's a synchronised swimmer. That's what it is, synchronised swimming. Yeah.
Best way to relax after a hard day's work.
2 weeks off.
Best way to relax after a hard day's work is 2 weeks off. What do you think? Oh, go on.
I like to relax by recreating the scene from Ghost with a potter's wheel.
Where you're...
Well, because I do it with my flatmate Mark because he looks a bit like Whoopi Goldberg.
It's extraordinary. OK, so, Nancy, how do you relax of an evening after a hard day's work?
Well, I will have a hot bath with a drink and then have a very deep tissue massage.
Jesus.
I
think I prefer yours.
Well, definitely, you prefer mine.
Who's the masseuse? Who's...
Well, I don't have to tell on TV, but I have a few.
Oh, that kind of massage, I see.
No.
What sort of tissues do you use?
Deep tissues.
Deep tissues.
Deep tissues.
Deep tissues. Is your bath one of the ones that you get in the side and it fills up when you're in there?
I had a bath the other day where I had, with the technology, I have my iPad on the toilet with the lid down. Obviously, I'm not an idiot. and you put a film on your iPad, and I had cheese and biscuits and a glass of wine, and it was one of the happiest moments of my life. Then I finished the cheese and biscuits, and I thought, I'll just watch this downstairs on telly.
I like to go down to the sauna and apologise for my conduct of the previous evening. So, you shouldn't really come here when I'm drunk and force you to open up. I'm sorry about that last night.
Well, apology accepted.
Yes.
Greg, how do you relax after training?
If it's been like a jump session or something, then I have to sort of get the sand out of bits of my body, which is...
Deep tissue.
Deep tissue.
How are you normally doing the jump? Have you thought of wearing shorts?
You'd have thought they'd have invented a better substance now, like a really thick custard or something. So you sort of slide into it and it leaves a groove, but you can just wash the custard off afterwards.
I mean, sandblast, they do the sandblast things that they have instead of getting the bath, just get one of those high-powered hoses.
They burn paint off walls.
Right.
OK, so best way to relax after a hard day's work?
I like to hang around by bottle banks. Or I dress up as a knight.
Sorry, you dress up?
Dress up as a knight, full armour, then put a film on.
A night in?
Because that's what they would have done. I do the 165 times tables.
Just run me through the first 4 or 5 of those.
Well, times 165 is 165.
Yeah?
2 times 165 is 320. 3 times...
Start again, Sean. Start again. 1 times. We'll start again.
1 times 165 is 165. 2 times 165 is 330. 3 times 165 is 495.
So explain the story, John. What's the full story?
Well, 10 years ago, Chris Huhne was doing 69 in a 50, and he had 9 points. He didn't want to lose his licence, so allegedly he bullied his wife into taking the points. Then he left his wife for a woman who genuinely used to do the PR for Top of the Pops. Now, she has had a career, hasn't she? PR for Top of the Pops, Chris Huhne, and I wouldn't be surprised if she turned out to be your accountant. She has had a bad... But the thing is, he basically said to his wife, take these points, and she took them at the time, and then she found out he'd been cheating on her. So she went to a newspaper and said, I've got this story, do you think I'll get into trouble?
Didn't she buy a wire off the internet, a recording device, and recorded him confessing in order to sell it to the paper?
She tried.
That's devious.
But the mistake he's made is that he hasn't married someone. You can only do that if you marry someone who looks like you. So Brian May and Anita Dobson, they do it all the time. He drives like a nutter pest, and then he says, it was Anita that was driving. Marry someone who looks like you. Terrible sex life, obviously.
Oh, I don't know.
My favourite thing about all of it is the texts from his son, which, when you read them, are just staggering. The one on Christmas Day is pretty much like, hope you have a great Christmas, love you, Dad. Well, I hate you, so fuck off.
There was another exchange which I think is even better. This is Chris Huhne saying to his son, Peter, I do hope your exams are going OK, despite everything over the last few weeks. Thinking of you, love you, Dad. P.S. It's Grandad's birthday today. And then his son texts back, don't text me, you fat piece of shit.
That mouthy son of his, he better hope he doesn't get put in prison, because he's going to come out all hardened, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Go, yeah, remember them fucking texts you sent me? Who's a fat bastard now, you fucking muppet? Wow.
Kean, would you take points for your partner? Your partner said
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, that seems like a very honest answer.
I mean, first of all, you know, I'm not divorced, and you know, my son doesn't think I'm a prick. So, them two things put together, you know, I would like to think that as a family we would stick together.
You like to think you'd get away with it?
I do that. I take points from my wife, yeah. She drives like a lunatic.
I bet his wife is spitting.
Now, the other thing about it, does he deserve to go to jail? Because his crime is he did 69 miles in a 50 zone and he's going to jail. He has played that very, very badly.
Yeah. He's a div, though, because, you know, I mean, a whole political career down the toilet for 3 points is one thing, but he's besmirched the good name of politicians. Very, very rarely are in the news for the wrong... Occasionally you'll get the... Jeffrey Archer, I remember, you know, he was supposed to have shagged prostitutes and he lied in court. But apart from... Well, Jonathan Aitken, he lied in court. But apart from those two... Well, you had Neil Hamilton getting brown envelopes full of cash from Mohammed Al-Fayed. But apart... Well, you also had Jackie Smith and her husband putting porn movies on expenses. So, and the bloke who put his duck house on expenses. And John Major, when he did his Back to Basics thing, he was knobbing Edwina Currie. We had cash for questions, cash for honours, cash for influence, arms to Iraq. But apart from those scandals, politicians have had a very, very good name in this country.
Well, I can tell you that Chris Huhne is not in our top 3, but Chris Huhne's girlfriend is bisexual, just like he'll be by the time he comes out of prison. Danny, I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to ask whether you've seen a ghost. I'm merely...
I've seen one.
Well, I'm not going to ask, Danny, because I'm just going to show this.
It's basically this long alleyway with a big wall outside and a big fence outside, right? This was about 3 bells in the morning. Jumped over, me and my pal, walking along, a bit paranoid, and we saw someone walking towards us. And we thought, well, I don't want to bring it on top, turn around and go the other way. We'll just keep walking, you know what I mean? Kept walking, getting closer, nut down, didn't really want to look. As he's got closer, it was a monk. A monk with all the gear on and all that. It was a mad bit, so I didn't really pipe that much, you know what I mean? I thought, yeah, all right, sweet, he looks like a bit of a fat. If we have it on our toes, we'll be able to get away from him. So anyways, walked past this monk, and no word of a lie, I'd say 10 seconds later, we looked round, the was gone. There was an old monastery round there, we later found out, right? Now, I wish now, looking back on it, I'd have had a right pipe at his boat. Because it was obviously a ghost. I wish I'd have studied the a bit more and just took it in more. But I swear to God, it was a old pit. It was quite a life happening, to be honest with you. It was on me nuts for a long time.
Good, right? Danny, do you still regret not having more of a pipe at his boat?
I do. I swear. Well, listen, right, there's 3 alternatives, right? Right, it was a monk.
Wandering around in the middle of the night.
Right, which is knocking about, right?
Yeah.
It was like a fat geezer dressed as a monk, fit as a fiddle that could jump over a 20-foot wall. Or I was off me fucking nuts.
I like the look of that young man there.
You have chosen Cian Egan. I just always, when I say your name, I feel like I'm saying Kevin Keegan, but I've had a stroke. Here's your question. Most people would rather be in a band than a solo singer, true or false?
I'd like to be in Little Mix. I'd like to be like the one and go, what's he doing in Little Mix? No, but they just get a new member, then Little Mix have announced they've got a new member, and it's me. What would you...
I reckon most people prefer to be in a band.
Because you got friends around you.
Yeah, it's like, you know, the whole idea of being in a band, you know. It's a bit cooler than I'm a singer on my own.
A bit cooler? You know you were in Westlife, right?
Yes, I know I was in Westlife.
Can you name all the other members?
Did you know each other growing up, all of you guys?
Yeah, we did, yeah. We went to school together.
That's proper band then, right? That's
Did
what
you?
want.
I didn't realise you went to school together. I thought you were...
No, we went to school together.
So you knew each other since what age?
Well, me, Shane and Mark we were in the same class as each other and we started the band up and then Brian and Nicky joined about a year later.
At what point did Louis swoop?
Very early.
So are you a solo artist now?
No, I'm not a solo artist. I was a member of a boy band for 15 years.
And your voice is just broken.
It's just breaking. It's only happened in 10 years.
I had to leave. They threw you out. OK. What about you, Stephen? Would you rather be in a band? What would you think?
I was in a band at school, yeah.
You were in a band at school. What were they called?
They were called Aragon.
Oh, they're already my favourite band.
We went through a lot of names. We were Zenith for a while. But then we realised there was a double glazing firm called Zenith. We recorded an album, The Wizard's Dream.
The Wizard's Dream? Why not The Wizard's Sleeve?
Is this true? Is this
Yeah,
absolutely
it's all true.
But why do you think you didn't make it?
Because we were ahead of our time. Sure.
Right.
And behind our time. There was no time that we would have fitted in at all.
John, any musical aspirations? Would you ever...
The only band I would like to be in is the Proclaimers.
Why the Proclaimers? Why would you want to be...
Why would you not want to be in the Proclaimers? There's a song that just ends with 5 minutes of them both screaming the word Gene. Gene! That's it. And they're in a band and they do that, and they're so cool. But they hate the English so much. It's a real barrier. I'd have to pretend from the beginning to be a brother that they didn't know about. Hello!
Tess, have you ever been...
I haven't been in a band, but I've been in quite a few bands' videos.
Which videos were you in?
I did 2 Duran Duran videos, and then I was in 2 Soul to Soul videos, a Beloved video, the
Soul
one
to
where
Soul,
everyone was
Beloved Duran
naked,
Duran.
bar a few little, you know, plasters and...
You were in that one?
I was in that one,
What
honey.
one's that? Plasters?
But, you know, elastoplast and the right, you
What
know...
a sexy look that is.
Nothing-
I'm
Well, just
naked
so
and I
that,
might
you
have
know, you
cut my
could
nipples.
preserve your muscles.
I'm in an Elton John video. He keeps it at home.
Sure. Why not?
I've only got one song on my iPod, which is Rock Around the Clock. And I have it on shuffle. So 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, it finishes. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Just for hours on end
Happy
driving.
days.
Drives my wife
It answers a
mental.
lot of questions, though. That's why she drives like that.
1, 2, 3 o'clock. Over and over again.
What do you think the nation enjoyed over the last year in the sporting world?
Well, I would say Andy Murray would be one, wouldn't it? Winning the US Open, the first title he's won, and he won an Olympic medal, didn't he?
He's bloody good. Are you a big fan of Andy Murray?
Yeah, I think he's done a good job for tennis and everything else. Relatively nice guy, so...
Relatively nice guy. Wow. All right, get a room. Jesus. He's a relatively nice guy. He's done a good job for tennis.
Well, his problem is he had to eradicate his personality, because when he started, like you can see on court, he's clearly got a lot of passion and things, but when he started, he would mess about in interviews and do jokes, and he's got loads of abuse for it. So now he just deliberately tries to be as tedious as he can. His interviews now, after like the most incredible tennis game, go, yeah, it was quite awkward because I hit the ball, but he moved where I'd hit it. So I had to hit the ball to the other side, but he moved again, so I kept. Then I tried to go down the middle, but he was there as well. It was absolutely...
He lost 2 toenails, but they didn't say which 2 it was, because it's only your big toe and your little toe that have names.
This is 100% true. Andy Murray, during the final with the US Open, he lost 2 toenails, turned black and fell off during the game. But, sorry, so we don't know which 2 because they've...
Because it's only your big toe and your little toe have names. And big toe's the only toe that actually does anything. All the rest of the toes are just hanging around with him. Like if you move your toes up and down.
OK, all right, yeah, I'm doing it.
I know everybody's doing it.
I'm doing my big toe now.
But the big toe's the only one that actually goes up and down. All the rest of them are just going, what's going on? My little toe's in a real bad way. It's rolled right over.
But you don't get this on the commentary, do you? You never get a commentator going, and I imagine Andy Murray's toes are going black.
Do you play tennis at all, Joe?
No.
No.
I'm a bit annoyed, though, because my application to be a ball boy got turned down again. I don't know why I bother.
That wasn't by Wimbledon authorities, it was actually by the local police.
You could just pick the balls up and just press them against your beard.
Yeah.
Carry them in your beard. That'd look a lot better.
See, I could do it.
Do you watch tennis? You a fan of Andy Murray?
Yes. No, I'm a fan of Roger Federer. I do like Andy Murray, but I have a crush on Roger.
You've got a crush on Roger Federer?
Yes.
Well, if you would like, you know, someone that looks a little bit like his special needs younger brother...
Well, that's what I said.
Look no further, my friend.
You look like Federer if he stood in front of that ball cannon. Just went...
What are you saying?
Puffed up.
Anna, you come second. Well.
Not often.
You do.
You just said.
Well, I can tell you, Andy Murray is not in our top 3, but I don't mean to take anything away from Andy Murray, but let's put this into perspective. Andy Murray has won 1 Grand Slam, which means he's won just 1 more Grand Slam than me. Do you believe in ghosts?
100%.
100%. Have you seen a ghost?
I'm going to sound a little bit mental now, though, aren't I?
Don't
Babe,
panic.
listen, you're sweet.
I do feel better, in fairness, because you've been through it first.
Go on, what happened?
Third date with current boyfriend, and we went to a tapas restaurant on the King's Road in London.
Right.
And we had drinks. Anyway, and I thought, weird, the restaurant's really empty, but yet there's a girl sat right next door to you. And I didn't say anything. After a while, I got my menu and went, it's weird, loads of room, why is she sitting next to you? And he was like, what? And literally, he swears that there was nobody there. I swear there was a girl there wearing a check shirt and a denim jacket.
Alex, this could be a career-ending appearance for you. Over the BBC, they're going, ooh.
You must have pulled some moves when you got back, because I don't get many dates, but I still think if I was on one and the girl saw a dead girl sat next to me, I'll call you, I'm going to move away from the country.
Miles, do you believe in ghosts?
On the basis of some of the facts we've heard tonight, I think they must exist.
I sometimes practice being a ghost.
Tell me more.
So, in the next life, I won't be shit at it. That'd be embarrassing, no? So I do different things to practice. I move stuff, slam doors. Occasionally, I stand at the end of a stranger's bed while they sleep. Practice, get it right, you know, for when the time comes.
Yeah.
Dress up as a small girl, chill out in a tapas restaurant, see what happens.
John, Tess, Stephen, what else have people been talking about this week?
The horse burgers, it's gone mad. It's it's affected Burger King, and that's what seems to surprise people. But if your main burger is called a Whopper, that's a fair admission that even you don't know what's inside it. Yeah, you want a flame grilled Whopper, do you? Get that downside, I'm not going to tell you. Even their fish burgers have got seahorse in it.
I don't understand the fuss. I really don't. We eat cows, pigs, chickens.
Yeah.
Everyone's known for years that sausages are basically lips and labia and toenails. What's wrong with a bit of horse?
Didn't the French company who made a lot of these meals, though, these packaged meals with the horse meat in it, they said they've defended themselves by saying there's no taboo about eating horse in France. But they missed the point because the fact is we didn't know there was horse meat in it, so we didn't have the choice.
It's better now it's a French company. Isn't there a company called, like, Gel Pack or something that sounds
Tommy
rank?
Gel.
Yeah, that sounds rank anyway. But the first few companies were all called, like, O'Cuddleton's Orchard and things like that. It just sounded like one little farmer who's got, I've got a few things, and sometimes one dies a bit and I'll put it in a burger.
Apparently Finder's beef lasagnas were 100% horse.
Yes! 100%.
100%, so what, not even any pasta? That's terrible. Sure, you need some cheese for it to be a lasagna. It was layers of horse on top of horse, with sprinkled horse on top of that. So would you eat horse?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a fussy eater.
That's a lovely way, but I'm not a fussy eater.
This Christmas, instead of a turkey, we had a horse. We had a horse, and on the table there, with all the trimmings. All the trimmings. You took on quite a lot when you said, I'll have a leg. You know, it's lovely horse.
Massive giblets.
We had a we had a donkey
radish.
inside it. We had a donkey inside it.
And inside the donkey, what?
Well, we had a koala.
A koala.
What I want to know is, what are the cows doing that were meant to be in the burgers? Where are they hiding? Have they sneaked off somewhere? They've like not gone into work.
There's a couple down here, actually.
And now they're all hiding, disguised somewhere. Are they like the French Resistance? Are they living in people's houses?
A very good thing will come out of all this, that people in general, whatever you eat, even if you eat, like, corn, you still don't know what's in it. People are far too trusting of packaging. We just buy something. Tesco packaging might as well just say on it, close your eyes, open your mouth, Tesco, go and give you... You have no idea. Just eat this shit. It's brown, it's meaty.
What's the end of that phrase? Close your...
It's... open your mouth, close your eyes. Tesco, go and give you a good surprise.
John's team, What do you think the nation would be talking about?
The snow.
Oh. Gemma, straight in there.
Well, because it was like really changed all the colour of the country and stuff.
How do you mean it's changed the colour of the country? Is it quite insightful?
No, because when you look out your window, like obviously there's grass and there's grey buildings and like you drive through London, but when it snows, it's beautiful. So I think that's a hot topic to talk about.
That's good. It's a cold topic.
First reason why John doesn't have a girlfriend, that is.
In a continuing series, let's see how high we can get. There's my voice, that's number 2. Hello, number 3.
You know who I envy in the snow, in this weather? It's the only time of the year I envy dog walkers. Because I just think, oh, it'd be great, you know, when they have the dog has a crap and you've got something warm in your hand for a bit.
Have a look at this car. This is a driver that basically... He cleared his windscreen. How could he possibly have an accident when he's prepared that thoroughly?
That's not a cleared windscreen, that's a glory hole. I've seen holes like that in Louis Walsh's dressing room wall. Do you know what I did to de-ice my car? I'd boil like 3 kettles, and then when they were hot, just chuck one over it.
That can crack the windscreen, though.
Excellent intervention from Gemma Collins, yeah? Why?
Because you're putting boiling hot water on cold, so it can crack.
I can't believe we're getting science.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed. We're doing a bit of science together. So hot water on cold, don't do it.
Yeah, because it will crack and shatter and it could be dangerous.
Because it expands too quickly, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was very busy. It was very busy, though. A friend of mine works in a puffer jacket factory. And he said they just can't kill the geese fast enough. He said, we're in there just... So they're just chucking grenades in there now.
Richard, you obviously think the snow is very dangerous because you're on a news radio channel.
And the news reports often say things like, they always say, only take an essential journey, don't take any non-essential journeys. And often the reporter saying that is in a tiny little village somewhere, and they'll have driven their quite big outside broadcast vehicle down a tiny little road into a village to tell you what you already know, that it snowed.
And then they're telling you don't take non-essential journeys. Who's going out for a spin anymore?
Well, one person's essential journey isn't another's. For example, I consider it essential for me to drive around counting snowmen. Somebody's got to do that, you know, count the snowman, height. You know, I can't do the weight, that's tricky. Every time I see a snowman, I always think to myself, God, I must get round to building a snowman.
Why don't you stop driving around looking at them and use that time to build a snowman?
Or take one.
Get
a van, if there is one you really like, with 2 coals for the eyes and carrot for the nose, perfect.
Do they have a tradition of building snowmen in Germany? Is it
we have got the finest snowman in the world.
Well, I want to ask about German snowmen. Do they put the coal underneath the carrot? That would look good, wouldn't it? That would look good. Get a bit of coal there.
Let's have a look and see if the snow is up there. Yes, Britain continues to be battered by freezing weather. Conditions in Birmingham were described as appalling, with no food on the shelves, schools shut and emergency services stretched to breaking point, and then it began to snow. Top thing people learn from TV shows. Alex, what do you think you've learned on the One Show? Because you have interesting people on every day.
I don't know. Well, you know, things that don't really help you in real life.
Go on. Such as?
Such as seagulls live till they're 40, potentially. Too long.
It's too long for a seagull.
2 types of tidal energy.
Well, in and out.
Yeah, no.
That's right.
So, you know, you do learn a lot, but sometimes when I'm not sure, I make things up.
Do you?
Only very, I mean, few and far between, Jimmy, but I can't, hand on heart, say 100% all the facts are correct.
I want to go on this One Show. Do you reckon they'll have me on there or what?
Danny, you're welcome.
You should get Danny to do an investigation for you, because you often get people in to do reports. He'd be amazing. He's done reports before.
No, I want to be the main guest. I don't want to get palmed off for the 5 minutes.
Baby steps, Danny, baby steps. We've got to build up towards that.
I'd rather see them carry on with Giles Brandreth doing it, but you get to direct and write the script. Giles Brandreth having to say, now, I've come here to try on these cardigans, but she's fucking mugging me off.
Miles, have you learnt anything from TV?
Yeah, from television I've learnt the ease with which Postman Pat can be distracted from his round has dire implications for the overall efficiency of the Royal Mail. It's a worrying trend.
And he gets involved in other people's problems, doesn't he?
He's nosy. He's nosy.
He thinks he's been helpful, but...
Stop chasing cats. Deliver my fucking letters.
Busy wasn't he?
I think you've really...
Good postman, all that, lovely little cat, but one busy you know?
Oh, cool. Sean, have you learned anything else from television? I mean, other than the recent revelations.
I just can't wait to bump into an animator somewhere saying, what are you working on? He goes, this new show called Busy
Joe, have you learned anything from television?
The only thing I've learned is that people on X Factor who say, I know I've got the X Factor, don't tend to have the X Factor.
OK, top thing people learn from TV shows.
Is it that chefs, for some strange reason, chefs are allowed to swear? You know, you can't swear on gardening shows or property shows. I've never heard Kevin MacLeod halfway through Grand Designs go, winter's drawing in, and they still haven't got the fucking roof on. This is when you need to swear. Yeah. That's worth swearing for, not because some broccoli's overcooked. They haven't got a roof. But then Gordon does need to swear. He's obviously got issues. You don't get those lines in your face worrying about roast potatoes, do you?
OK, fingers on buzzers. One more thing still to get.
Is it the smell that came over from France?
The smell in the week was released and it came directly across. Did people not know about this?
Yeah, I knew about it. Sorry, Jimmy, what did it smell of?
It's apparently it smells of sweat, garlic and rotten eggs. According to reports, it's called Mercaptan.
And it came from a French factory, didn't it? And then it wafted over...
It wafted over the channel.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's impossible to comment on this without being anti-French. So why try? Yeah. You know it must be bad when even the French notice the smell.
Well, I think...
Could you smell this in Essex?
No. We would not have come out of our houses if we'd have smelt it.
But then equally, I think the bigger debate is, what if you were a village sort of 5 miles away and you knew you could smell it in the other village but not in yours? Would you drive to smell it?
You know who you are? My sister had a boyfriend who would purposely go in the loo after she'd been in there and be like, yeah. And she was like, don't go in, don't go in. And he was like, I'm not, I'm just getting hand towels.
It wasn't me, can we just say? Can we just call that out? I think it was glad to see, because they were calling it La Pong. It's nice to see Pong getting a bit of work without Ping piggybacking on it. Because Ping got the big microwave contract about 20 years ago. Poor old Pong's like, you're out again? Yeah, I'm doing the microwave gig. I'll just wait until someone plays that game from the bloody 70s again. Poor old Pong.
The thing that is concerning, like, everyone's going on about the smell, but what if there is some bad stuff in that gas that has got into our bodies if you did breathe it in, and it's like eating our organs and you don't know it?
Could be melting our brains.
It could be, it could be. People my age don't really watch the news because they find it boring.
How old are you?
32. Every night sometimes I go on YouTube and I came across this guy, right, called David Icke,
Yes.
And I've been watching him, and he's really
Well,
like...
this explains a lot.
You're his target audience, Gemma.
Am I?
Yes, you are exactly the sort of person he's trying to reach.
He is fascinating. He has said Beyonce isn't real. But and basically, we are all run by aliens. Like, there's aliens living amongst us in this country, like reptiles, which... See, why do you know to do that? Why do you know? He says that. David Hyde says they pull off their... he shows it on the thing.
They pull off their faces?
Yeah.
Well, I imagine when you take the fake tan off, it looks different.
Yeah. Why should we just believe that this gas has just come? Why did it come? What is it doing to us?
You sound like you've just smoked your first joint.
I haven't.
Well, I can tell you the French gas leak is not one of the most talked about things this week. But after extensive investigation, the cause of the foul odour was narrowed down to two possible sources: everything in France or everyone in France. Sean, Tina, Joe, what have the nation been talking about over the last week?
Faster trains.
Faster trains.
Between Manchester, Leeds and London.
Manchester, Leeds and London. You're going the long way round, aren't you?
Well, you know, they can't get the one that they're doing now on time, so are they going to make it an hour and 6 if they can't do it in 2 hours from Manchester to London?
I'm quite happy with 2 hours to Manchester. I think you need a little bit of time to prepare yourself for going up north.
I don't like this fast train because I don't like being early. I'm going to... You know, because it takes an hour, you're going to be early, you're just going to be hanging about. Get a slow one, keep warm.
I don't think you will be early because it's not going to be built for 20 years.
Yeah. 2033, isn't it?
Yes, it's going to be finished in 2033.
I thought we'd be teleporting by then. I haven't got jetpacks, I don't want to be alive, let alone clinging on for life in a super fast buffet car, like.
They're saying it's for, like, European business people, though, that are coming over. But surely if you've had, like, a flight from Moscow, you're not going to land and then go, how much to Manchester? 2 hours. Fuck me, I'll go back.
Where's he going back to?
Don't know.
Is it really going to go 260 miles an hour?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
It's a shame, because you're not going to be able to stick your head out the window anymore, are you? It'd be too dangerous. I used to love doing that. I did it all the way from Cardiff to Bangor once. God knows how many insects I ate, but I was...
Too fast, isn't it?
Too fast.
You'll have to change train impressions for kids. Like, you can't go... Won't do that, will it? It'll just go...
That won't be as good.
It wasn't that long ago that they binned Concorde, which was really quick getting to the States because it cost too much money. But now they've decided to spend 30 billion just to go to Manchester.
Are you saying we should get Concords to Manchester?
We get 30 billion, yeah.
Well, for that kind of money, I mean, there's other things we could spend that money on, aren't there? I mean, it's a huge amount.
Yeah,
we could have a free bar on the train for 20 years.
Instead of building a train line, why don't they have that thing in supermarkets where they send the money down a tube? That thing where the money pops up in a tube. That's so quick. Why don't they just build one of those? Just goes,
thing in
supermarkets? Those things, they come up in a tube and it's like a plastic thing and they open it and they put all the money in and then it goes doof, and then it appears somewhere else. So they put the money in, they screw it, and then they pop it in a tube, doof, it's gone. Literally seconds, and then you can hear somebody in the distance going, oh! Why not a massive one of those?
Shoot people out of cannons.
I don't think that's practical, Joe.
Not all right, not one then, 3.
3 cannons.
One to Totten, then change, get another cannon. Leeds. It's like a 20-minute wait there.
And then get another cannon.
And then another cannon there.
I could see that if there's a problem, like a cannon replacement service.
Yeah. An idea.
OK, let's see if the new high-speed rail line is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, the most talked about thing. The government have unveiled plans for a new high-speed rail line. It said it will cost £32.7 billion, or £35 billion if you get a return. What other unexplained phenomenon, mystery phenomenon, strange and wonderful things do people find fascinating?
Psychics.
Psychics. Have you ever visited a psychic?
8 times.
8 times?
Again, don't let this steer you in any direction as to whether I'm nuts or not.
So what did they tell you?
Oh, lots of different stuff, but I think the most weird one was when I was walking out of Boots, you know, Boots, and... You know, Boots. So I'm walking out of Boots, and this sort of deranged-looking woman comes towards me. She said, "You must buy a crystal." I went, "Oh, I'm all right."
She didn't have a check shirt on, did she?
She was older. She said, "You must buy a crystal." And I said, I'm all right. I don't want a crystal. And she said, "Well, I'll give you the crystal." I said, "Well, all right." And she said, "It's good luck." And she said, "You've got to ditch that boyfriend of yours. He's very handsome, but you've got to get rid of him. He's no good for you. Next boyfriend, look for somebody with a J in the surname." Sure enough, 2 weeks later, new man, J in the surname.
That's what you doing what you're told.
No! See, she searched me out to give me that information. They look after you. John, don't look like that.
It was the she searched me out thing. Afterwards.
There was a lot of people in Boots, and she could have picked anybody, but she was drawn to me and gave me... And these people don't give crystals away willy-nilly.
I recently visited a psychic, and he could tell that I was unsuccessful with women and sometimes got mistaken for being homeless just by looking at me. That's weird.
That is crazy kind of powers. Danny, do you believe in psychics?
I done that Sally Morgan, and I was sort of open to it, and she wanted to meet me at a dog track.
Of course.
Cockney and all that. So I spent about 2 hours with her, and I'll tell you what, the bollocks coming out of her mouth, right? Because she went, right, do you know what, I'm going to do something I never do. Right. I'm going to tell you what dog is going to win the next race.
What did she say, greyhound?
What? So, listen, she told me what one it was, I put a time down on it, £100, Jimmy, right?
Sure, I'm with you.
The fucking thing come last.
Best way to make friends?
Ow. Obviously not like that. Is it hang around after night prayers?
Night prayers, that comes just before let's strip down to our pants prayers?
That comes just before the in the name of the Father, the Son and in the Holy Ghost.
OK, best way to make friends?
You tell a woman that you love her, and she says, "I think we're friends." It's better when you could just ask when you're a kid, and you just go up to someone and say, "You want to be friends?" If you do that now, it looks weird. You're making mates with someone in the office. There's no point in which you have to go, "Can I just clarify, are we friends?" We can't be best friends, because I made best friends with Sue last week.
A better way that isn't weird is to throw someone's dog in a pond and pretend you rescued it.
Did they see you throw the dog in the pond? Because I don't think it's going to work that way around.
No, they just see you climbing out with the dog. They don't know you threw it in. You become friends, and it's not weird.
It's going to be weird for them watching this, isn't it?
Can't dogs swim? Am I having another...
No, before she did it, she broke its legs, so it couldn't swim.
Is it that you steal their things and then pretend you found them in a hedge?
Stop ruining other people's lives. 48% of people meet their true friends at work. Is that true for you? Have you met friends at work? You're a professional gambler most of the time. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's... But I'm terrible at making friends. That's why I play poker, because you sit with a bunch of people and you play a game and drink and chat, and they are friends, but it's just friends where, at the end of the evening, you go, "I think you owe me £100.
That sounds like prostitution.
Well, that's simply the way I make friends. Deal with it.
Rob, well, what do you think?
I think you don't need many friends. I mean, I've got about 6, and that's one that I could do with cutting a few off.
According to a recent survey, the average British person has 3 true friends and another 19 mates.
But I call everyone mate, and I don't mean it.
Well, what do you think, mate?
Well, it's weird when your job is to interview pop stars, because you have that false friendship thing. They come onto your radio show or whatever it is, and I've had it in the past where you think, I'm probably not going to get on with this person, and they come in and you become really good friends.
What odd people have you become friends with?
There is a grime artist called Skepta.
Oh, Skepta, yeah.
You know Skepta.
Skepta, boom.
Yeah.
Cowabunga, dude.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me anything about Skepta.
He and I have kind of become friends just through being interviewed a few times. I did an interview where I mounted him in a piggyback from behind, and he had to hold my weights whilst we had a little chat. And since then, we've been nearly inseparable.
I'll just let you know about the thing about Skepta is he doesn't let his real friends do that to him.
Crush my dream,
We don't do that.
It's weird that you weren't at Skepto's birthday party last night, though.
Skepta, but yeah.
Skepta?
What do you call him?
Skepta.
You call him Skepta? If you're a mate, we call him Skepta.
Skepto.
Skeptos.
Are you going round his later?
What, Skeppies?
Yeah. Couple of points.
Skepsies.
Skeppo.
Yeah. And you go down there, we're just going to hit a bin with a brick for a bit. It'll be great.
OK, best way to make friends?
Just do it on Facebook, and once you've clicked it, it's official.
I'll give you a clue. It's to do with listening.
Asking questions. Go to the pub.
Listening to someone moaning on.
That'll do, yeah. Pretty good. Listening was close enough. Yes, the best way to make friends is to listen to people's problems. Of course, some people like me have the opposite problem, too many friends. It's like every makeup girl we've ever had on this show has had to leave because I'm too friendly. Johnson, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
The Pope.
The Pope?
The Pope.
The Pope.
The Pope. That's the Italian for it. The Pope. Oh no, bye-bye, the Pope. It was the Pope's last day, wasn't it? But what I don't understand, he's quit just before Easter. It's like a manager resigning before a cup final. That's surely like the biggest gig of the year, and he's chucking chocolate at people, and then he's quit. Oh, he had to give back his ring. Had to give back his...
They have to destroy the ring, apparently. He has to give back his
No,
slippers, but they have to they literally have to destroy the papal ring. They have to get a hobbit in a volcano or some sort.
The thing is, if he's got to go out for a leaving drink, isn't he? Like, if one goes out for a leaving drink at work, he's going to have to get around in for every Catholic. No wonder they die on the cross, whatever it is. Not die on the cross, that's Jesus. Jesus, isn't it?
They die on the job, yeah, it's the other fella.
Yeah, that's the big guy, the chief exec.
He's meant to die on the job, and he's basically you know, he's not fulfilled his purpose. He was meant to do his job until he died, and then there's a new pope.
He's supposed to die on the job. The job is to die. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it. I'm sympathetic to him.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure they're going to... You're not in with that much of a shout.
If you're the pope and you die, you are guaranteed straight to heaven. Like being fired out of a cannon. As soon as you die, so boom, you're like in heaven on a cloud. Whatever you want going on is going on. Whatever you want nibbling is being nibbled.
He's got the better deal, though, hasn't he? Because as retirement, he goes into a castle in Italy with something like, is it like 40 nuns or something? There's a little loophole where if you quit as Pope, you just get given a lot of nuns. Do what you like for a weekend, no questions asked. There's got a cinema in there, there's a swimming pool, and you can nun yourself to death.
I wonder, you know, because he retired, do you think it's like in an office, you have to you get a box and put your things in it, you have to clear your desk and go? Because the other thing was, I thought this was very telling. This is very indicative of how camp the Catholic Church is, that he had to give his shoes back, the little red shoes he wears. And you know that the conversation was, you give the shoes back. Which shoes? You know which shoes.
It makes it sound like being Pope's a bit like going bowling.
Yeah. It is, isn't it?
It's an aerosol. Gives him his old shoes back.
Yeah. Shall we have a look and see whether the Pope is up there? I'm sure he is. Yes, the Pope's retired. Of course, the Pope was famously against using condoms. He said he couldn't feel anything. Most people would rather wear something practical than look cool. True or false? What do you think?
Well, it's all about looking cool for me. Like under this, I'm wearing quite expensive lingerie. It's impractical, but I feel great.
Gives you the support you need.
No, it doesn't. It's the opposite. It's right up my arse.
But I think it is age-dependent. People, you know, maybe Got to be careful here. 40.
I'm 40, yeah.
Downwards. Go for, you know, look cool.
Have you seen the two guys you're sitting with? Do you suffer for fashion? Do you wear heels? Do you wear uncomfortable things to look good?
Mm-hmm.
Most people secretly want to do another job, true or false?
I'd say 99.9% of people would like to change their job.
I would.
What do you think your true calling is? What's your true calling?
I'd love to be a tax inspector.
I've never...
I've been working on my knock. Listen to my knock.
I don't know what a tax inspector's not. I've never met one, so I don't know.
You ever see T-shirts? You know the jobs you see on T-shirts, like beer taster general. I'd like to be that, or boob inspector. Leader of the Pussy Patrol. Those jobs. Can you actually get those
I
jobs?
ain't giving that job up. You'll have to wrestle me for it. It took me years to get to be leader of the Pussy Patrol.
And if you've got a missing cat, you can contact me.
What about you, Joe? Bet you'd like a different job, wouldn't you?
Toss up between a dinner lady or a falconer. Either or.
Dinner lady?
Yeah. Yes, I would.
I think there's absolutely zero chance that Joe would ever pass the CRB check to make a dinner lady.
I'd quite like to be a sniper. I've bought the bits and pieces already, so...
In an official capacity, or like for the army, or do you think in a...
freelance.
Tina, what do you think you would do if you had a job?
Probably be a... I'd like to be a diving instructor. No, a politician, to be honest.
Politician?
Quite seriously, yeah.
That's a great job to have. What would you do, John, if you weren't doing this?
I'd quite like to be a milkman. I'm a real buzz at giving people milk. But in my experience, unless you've got the uniform, it's weird. You just knock on someone's door with some milk and go, there you go.
If I couldn't do this, I'd like to be a zookeeper. But I wouldn't touch any shit.
I've got a friend who's a zookeeper, and it is an amazing job.
I've got a friend
Is this true? Really?
He's got a dangerous wild animal rescue facility in Woking, this little house in Essex. There's an emu, and he gave me an emu egg, which looks like a dino egg. It's bright green, and I made an omelette out of it the other day.
Oh. Well, that's...
Oh,
Sorry, is this a rescue centre for the animals? 'Cause
yeah.
if you're eating some of them...
No, it's an emu
We didn't
egg.
get the funding we were hoping for, so...
Well, Beaky hasn't got a boyfriend, so you're not eating it wouldn't be an emu because it's not fertilised. It's just an egg. It's
Go
just
very
like a
nicely
massive...
with the leopard bacon.
I'm sorry, Let's get some answers on this. So, most people secretly want to do another job, true or false? You're going to go... True! True. John?
We think it's true.
OK, I can tell you the answer is true. 54% of people secretly want to do another job.